I could go on, but then like I always say this, like always look at your situation, right? Always look at your situation, because for all of us over here, our solution is tailored to us, right? It's us. But then always look at it from your perspective in the broader frame. That way it can actually help you. It could be anything at all, right? It could be any mental health issue, because like Miss Henry had said earlier on, there's a stigma and Mr. Griffin has said that also earlier on, there's a stigma in our community when it comes to stuff like mental health as well, right? So we won't seek help. As men, we feel like we're so strong. So when something is going on, we wouldn't even go for therapy. We wouldn't even seek help. And that's some of the sort of things that I feel like if we're able to do, it could curb the escalation of some of the diseases and some of the health concerns that we've been seeing in our communities.
I would say the parents and the family's involvement is actually, in my opinion, bigger than the school. One thing I tell all the parents that I work with is whatever I'm working on with their child about, I like to kind of keep them in the loop. So if we're speaking about healthy communication or boundary setting or time management skills, I like to always ensure that I incorporate the parents in those conversations, or at least in the information that I'm sharing, so that those conversations can continue at home. Because I feel it's more productive when students are learning something in every setting of their lives. And as a student, the two places you spend most time is home and at school. So if both are connected in the information and education that we're sharing, the information sticks more. When it comes to mental health being a big concern, especially with the pandemic, my school knows me for my favorite saying, which is be gentle with yourself. I think that's one of the most, for me personally, peaceful and grounding quote I ever learned. Just to be gentle with ourselves. I think sometimes we try to show up and be so many things for other people. And, our lives are very complex. And I think sometimes we forget ourselves. And I try to teach the staff members at my school about self-care as well. You can't show up for others if you don't show up for yourself. And so you can't be the best teacher, the best para, the best speech therapist if you yourself are dealing with stuff. So the pandemic doesn't just affect our students, it affects us as well. We've lost actually, a couple of staff members to COVID. So for the students, there's a level of, I may have lost someone at home, but now I'm coming to school and it's a reminder, oh, Miss So-and-so is no longer with us, or Mr. So-and-so isn't here. So definitely getting the parents more involved. I would say parents taking the initiative, coming to the schools, making those trips, being involved in the parents' committees that multiple schools have. Actually listening and learning what's going on in your child's life, not just, okay, my child came home today, checked their homework, you did your homework, okay, good. Now you can go eat dinner and go to bed. It's being more involved, because high school is a tough time for a lot of students. And I know we all were in high school one time, and there's a lot of complexities that goes with it. And so I would just say definitely parents being more involved, and just the staff of the school remembering to take care of themselves, prioritize their mental health, their self-care, because again, they cannot pour from an empty cup. As far as the concerns with lack of education on how to support students with autism spectrum disorder, for me, it's about, I think sometimes being humble and knowing that you're not an expert, I think is a really good tool. I knew that autism was above my level of expertise or knowledge, but I read a couple of books, read a couple of journal entries from experts, and I also connected with Autism Speaks, and I really did a big PowerPoint where I had the professionals speak. I kind of shared a little bit of resources, different articles, different classroom supplies that can be used, different tools that can be beneficial in how to communicate with students with ASD. So another solution would just be understanding that you are not the expert, and it's okay to seek outside support, seek referrals, seek information from experts, and knowing your limits or your level of knowledge. Because again, the purpose for me is to ensure that the students and the school feels prepared to support the students with ASD, as opposed to me coming in thinking I know it all and just saying anything, because that's not beneficial to anyone.
If I leave home and I do not have my credit card, I do not have my keys, I think twice about going back. I could do without. But if I do not have my cell phone, absolutely, whether it's work, social, it's just have become a part of our daily life. in terms of staying connected. But this, as I've studied on the security side, is one of the biggest detrimental to our safety, personal, because we are very distracted. We're doing that, we are in public spaces, crossing the street, just moving around. This become a target for person who are looking to either now accost, assault, rob, because what? We're not paying attention. So I would just ask, from everyone, just be very mindful as we go into the holiday season, from a week before Christmas going into the New Year's, from a public health, safety, and safety tips that I could offer. Assault and theft escalate almost 1,000%.